perspective.
Good afternoon, everyone. In this presentation, I'll talk about the digital preservation of courts' disposed case records and how we are working on this. So, in current scenario, there are 24 high courts and 600 district courts all over India, and each court is maintaining thousands of cases per year in their own way. So because of huge and scattered information, it is very necessary to standardize and preserve these case records so that our future generation, which can be a judges, lawyer or students, can access these records. These are the record rooms where each court complex is keeping their case records in physical file formats. Now, why to preserve disposed files? Because they are primary proof of a thoroughly conducted trial. They can be useful for future references while decision making. They might be needed in appellate courts or required to prove a repeated offense. These are the assets which needs to be preserved as accurate as possible. So while preserving these case records, there are some major concerns which needs to be catered, like the data is heterogeneous and unstructured because each court complex is maintaining their data in different ways. There should be standard retention policy as per case types. Digital and technological obsolescence. Metadata should be complete and standardized. There is a lack of centralized knowledge-based system, and so on. So under National Digital Preservation Program, CDAC team is continuously interacting with all Delhi district courts, Supreme Courts and High Court to understand their system requirement and to create a digital preservation environment for them. So under this pilot project, CDAC has done the POC in Karkardhuma Court and created a data processing center, and this model will be replicated in all Delhi district courts. So our preservation environment is based on OAIS framework to create a trustable archive environment that has consistent technology independent data. So the trustworthiness of record can be achieved through authenticity, reliability and accuracy. For this, the data and its metadata should be as accurate as possible, and the procedure for creating packets should be complete, precise and secure. Now, first challenge is the standardization of metadata. Metadata can be classified at two levels, domain and technical. The domain level metadata will vary according to the domain, such as for judiciary domain, it can be an FIR number, case history, lawyer details. For medical domain, it can be an patient history or hospital details and so on. This is a sample example of a criminal case type metadata in which we have divided the case record into 10 sections. Like general case log will have all the generic information related to the case, such as judgment information, district court information, case ID, case year. Likewise, petitioner section will have all the information related to the petitioner and so on. This is the technical information. Actually, RA is used to interpret and understand the digitized data and its metadata. Now, the digitized data is stored in the form of bits. So, RA will be helpful to create this bit data into a meaningful way. Suppose if you have a PDF file, then RA will provide the hardware software configuration required for that file, format required for that file, modification date, creation dates, and so on, and technical details which are basically necessary to understand the document. These are some open source file formats which we have studied and also suggested to the court complexes to adopt because they have some features which will fulfill long-term digital preservation. This is the standard folder structure for keeping the case records, its evidences along with their technical metadata and domain level metadata. The PDI part I'll explain later. And manifest file is the overall packaging information of the standard folder structure for keeping the zip packet. This is the standard case file structure. And we have also developed a metadata standard for long-term digital preservation of disposed case records. Now this standard is as per the e-governance norms of long-term digital preservation. This I'll share later. Now, come to preservation description information. This information basically provides the information which is necessary to require the record for longer period of time, and it is further categorized into 4 levels. Like reference information provides the unique identifiers of the packet such as AIP ID, SIP ID, DIP ID. Provenance information is related to the history of the record, like who is the originator of the record, who is the ingester, receiver of the record, and what are the access rights associated with the records. The context information is for the relationship between multiple records which can be inside or outside the packet. And this security related part is related to the fixity information. Suppose if you have a digitally signed PDF file or there is a checksum value associated with the record, then all these kinds of information will comes under fixity section. This is the data processing center in which all the physical files will be digitized, and we have developed a software which will create submission information package. Now this package is basically a collection of data. It's standardized metadata, RI and PDI. These are the critical component of the SIP packet. You can have a look on the PDI part. Suppose in this, you can see the SIP ID, AIP ID, batch ID for the multiple processing in reference information. In the provenance information section, you can see the original detail, ingester details. And here you can see the exercise related information related to the SIP packet. Likewise, this is the technical level metadata in which you can have the MIME type of the document, file format, version, file size, creation date, modification detail, and other technical details. And this is the domain level metadata in which this is the information related to the accused party. Here's the district court related information. And this is the disposal type of the case record. This is the judgment information. And finally, this is the standard SIP folder structure for keeping the records for longer period of time. Here, this is the manifest file which have the packaging information. Like here you can see there are, for example, 10 records with proper path and checksum value for the security reasons. And here is the sender details, who is sending the SIP packet. This is the timestamp details, and this is the versioning info of the SIP, and this is the case ID for which the SIP was created. And ultimately, this is the data folder, which is having the data, disposed case records, its evidences, and its domain and technical metadata. And this is as per the standard case folder structure which I have mentioned earlier. Now, once the SIP is created, it will be transferred to the central location server. This is the software which we have developed for creating the SIP packet. There is a small video on this.
Disposed Case Portfolio Manager software will be used to create standardized SIP packet. Super user will select the new case record and map the record with the validator and operator. This is an access right based software. Now operator will log in into the system and enter the data entry for the case record.
Now this is the domain level metadata.
Operator will also attach evidence with the respective case. Evidence can be of two types, document or media. In media, further 3 subcategories, images, audios and videos. Now operator will send the case to the respective validator for that particular case record.
This is the process of validating.
Validator will log in into the system, and after verifying case records and files, either he will accept the case record or he can reject it. If the case record is accepted, it will be visible in Generate SIP list. Now, validator will generate SIP for that particular case record. After successful generation of KSIP, validator will transfer this SIP packet over network to ingest module.
That's it. Now once the SIP is created and transferred to the central location, now ingest application will take over. Here, it will perform various quality checks on SIP packet with proper transmission and acknowledgement session. And in case of any error, the packet will be retransmitted to the DCPM software. But if everything is okay, then this packet will be repacked as AIP called Archival Information Package. And this package will be ultimately sent for the object-based storage. Now on the basis of our study and analysis, we have chosen OSD because it fulfills overall OAIS guidelines. It stores AIP in the form of an object and it also creates unique ID for each object. OSD also supports open source protocols for read-write such as HTTP, REST, CIFS, NFS and so on. Basically, retention policies are the guidelines for preserving code cases for a certain period of time. So, object-based storage is logically partitioned into multiple containers as per retention policy. Let's take an example of 30,000 code complex where we have created 8 containers as per the retention policies, in which AIP will be stored in the form of an object as per the case type and retention policies like 60 years, 50 years and so on. Now once the AIP is created and stored in the form of an object, the end user will request for the case records with the help of Access application. Now this application at the back end will interact with the archival storage for creating dissemination information package. This package will contain the requested case records. Now the end user can be a judge, lawyer or a law student. This portal will also have a payment gateway feature where the end user can buy the records as per the access rights. This is the overall architecture of the system in which all Delhi district courts are connected to the ingest server through VPN connectivity, and the web portal is connected to the ingest server for creating and rendering DIP packet, and the end users are connected to the web portal through internet connectivity. We have also tried to map our software with ISO 16363 framework and OIS framework, like creation of access right and role-based software, collection of data and generation of its RI and PDI, tool to create and validate SIP packet, ingest module to perform quality checks on SIP packet and storing AIP in the form of an object-based storage, and so on. Now our next milestone is the preservation planning. For this, we are working on financial sustainability model of code complexes, how we do the migration of hardware and software, information management, training of skilled manpower, and hierarchy management. Thank you.